Hello and welcome. Today, I'm going to talk to you about change. Change can feel overwhelming, and I'm going to teach you valuable questions to ask in the midst of any big changes you're going through to help you feel calm and ready to take action. I'm Missy Hughes, and I coach productivity. I help you understand what's happening when you're overwhelmed, and I help you get things done. If today's video feels helpful, click the link in the comments to get my free guide on getting started with change. You can also subscribe to this channel to get updates every week when I post new tips on how to get things done. So let's talk about change and overwhelm. Change feels overwhelming because you're starting a whole new system. You have to learn a whole new thing. So, whether you're going from a goal that you want to set and implement, or whether you just moved to a new city or started a new job, um, all of these are going to require a new system, new skills, a new pattern of your day. And so, you're going to have to make decisions about how to make that happen. There's going to be a lot coming at you as well in the form of new information, as well as how you're thinking about the new information and how you're feeling about all of it. It can feel like a lot, it can feel like too much. So, when you feel overwhelmed, your brain senses the stress and it flips the switch on fight or flight or freeze. When you fight with change, you come up with 1,000 reasons why it won't happen, it won't work, and you dig in your heels in the safety of where you are right now. You don't change. You argue that it won't work, and you're arguing against yourself. When you run from change, when you're in flight, you ignore it, you avoid it, you distract yourself so that you don't even have to think about the change that's happening. You can just be in whatever you're sort of numbing out with. You're procrastinating, even considering the change. When you freeze, you overthink the situation. You are coming up with 800 ways that the worst case scenario is going to happen, and you're too afraid to get started. So you stay right where you are. The fight, flight, and freeze stress response is our brain's oldest strategy for creating safety, but it only keeps us alive. It doesn't actually create solutions. So we need to access our rational brain to make decisions and implement change, come up with a strategy. We need to calm all of that stress down in order to make a plan. So to move from overwhelm to strategy, it's really helpful to ask yourself powerful questions. So let's talk about what makes a question powerful. Powerful questions create clarity. They help you narrow down this enormous big picture that feels so overwhelming into tangible bites. They ask you for information that you can relate to and you can use. So here's some examples. What? What are the steps I can take right now? What can I do first? What can I do consistently? Consistently does not necessarily mean every day, it just means most days. Who can I ask for help? Who's been successful at this already? Who has the knowledge I need to gain in order to make this change possible? Where? Where do I get the information I need? Where will I practice this new habit? Where does this new skill take me next? These are your questions that give your brain tangible answers to find. Tangibility creates calm. Tangibility feels like you have control. Okay, I can see this thing I can do. I can go do that. I have control over the doing of something I can relate to. When I have a million things to do, I can't relate to any one of them. I'm overwhelmed by them all. So, what's the opposite? What are questions that create stress or create overwhelm? Why is a question that can be misunderstood. So a lot of people will say you can't make change unless you know your why. But I want that may be true, and having a powerful connection to why you want something is really important. But here's what happens with why. Why haven't I done this already? Why can't I get through this really hard challenge? Why am I not achieving this goal yet? So, why can also be sort of a beatdown question. Vague, it's kind of a vague question and it produces vague answers. And if the snarky part of your brain is asking these vague questions, then the snarky part of your brain is going to answer them. It'll always be some version of the answer is because you're not enough. You haven't done it yet because you're not smart enough. You can't get through this hard thing because you're not strong enough. You haven't achieved it yet because you aren't skilled enough. But these are really vague answers. Smart enough compared to what? Strong in what way? Skilled at what task? Vague questions give you vague answers, and you're no more in control of the change than being blindfolded in a maze. So, whenever you feel overwhelmed, go from the big picture to bite size. Break things down using these tangible questions: what, where, when, who. These are the questions that are going to give you tangible answers that you can relay into action. Ask yourself that allows you the question that allows you the most tangible answers that you can relate to, you can connect to, you can use that as like, oh, I can break this into one task I can do right now. The way to get it done is to start with the most easily accessible thing that you can do right now. You don't always have to tackle the enormity of a task in order to start making progress moving through it. So I hope that these questions help you go from overwhelm to in control so that you can start changing in whatever way that you're in, whether it's going for a goal or transitioning into a different part of your life. You can go about that in a way that allows you to process the big changes that are happening, that allows you to learn and take it in stride rather than just seeing the whole big thing. So again, go to the link and get my free guide to how to get started with change and subscribe to the channel. I look forward to seeing you next week.